Hey everyone, welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. My name is Leonette and I am so glad that you are here today. I have for you really cool, really inexpensive thrift store flips ideas for you that I hope they inspire you to go out to the thrift store, find some old decor, and make it brand new with a Christmas festive style. Cedar board that I got at the thrift store. It was only 99 cents and I actually got 3 of them, but we're only going to start with 1. I'm going to give it a very heavy dry brush using Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white because we're going to be distressing it. Today's DIYs are all going to have a farmhouse look, so a lot of them are going to be distressed, but overall they're going to have a very farmhouse look. I'm using my palm sander and a 150 grit sandpaper. I am focusing mainly on the edges, but I'm going to do a little bit of sanding in the center just to soften things. Once it was sanded, it's time to start adding some little embellishments. So these little wooden, like a reindeer, I got at Walmart and I've had for a while now, for a few weeks, and I could not figure out what I wanted to use it for. And this is perfect. I'm going to hot glue it to the left side of the board. I'm also going to take one of these little foam berries that I've had in my stash from decorations from last year. Actually, about 90% of the decorations that I am using today are from last year's Christmas stash that I never got to use. So I'm really happy I got to pull them out and use them. Using my Cricut, I cut out the phrase reindeer sleigh rides. I thought it would be very cute to have this. And I'm just going to center it there on the right side of the reindeer. And then we're going to start stenciling. The stenciling I'm going to do, instead of just all one color, I'm going to do a combination of black, red, and green. So now it's time to remove the vinyl, and by the way, all the vinyls and supplies and tools and paints that I use here on my channel, a lot of them are in my Amazon store. If you have not visited my Amazon store, it is linked down below. I'm going to use some of this buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to scrunch it up in the back, staple it with my electric stapler, and that is it. I am going to remind you what the board looked like before when I got it, which is very nice. But I love the way it is now. It is beautiful. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell this one in my booth or I'm going to keep it. Not decided yet, but I love the way it has that farmhouse, very festive Christmas look. Here with this thrifted item that I recently got at the thrift store, and I actually paid, let's see where it's at, $12, which is actually $12.99, and is way more than what I would ever pay for anything at the thrift store. However, I love it. It is actually like steel or iron, and then it has a pretty solid piece of wood here. And it almost looks like a window, which is what I am going to use it as. First thing is first, we need to remove the board from the base. And we're going to put it right back on, but it's so much easier to work with it off, both to paint the window frame as well as build the box. So we are going to give everything a good scrub just to kind of clean it. It wasn't dirty, it was just more dusty. And then take it outside to paint. So it is currently pouring outside. Well, not pouring, but raining consistently. So we are out here in our garage and I've created a little protective area here so I don't get spray paint anywhere else. And we're just going to lightly spray paint white the frame of the window. So this is the weirdest thing. So I'm spraying it and it's coming out white and is actually turning beige as it's hitting the metal or the steel. So I'm going to let it sit, let it dry, and see if maybe the second coat will stick more of the white. If not, I may have to seal it with some sealer first and then go back and spray paint it. We will see. So believe it or not, now the spray can was not working. Like, it's not spraying. So I went inside and I grabbed a different spray can and it's still not spraying. And I even tried taking the nozzle off, thinking like maybe it was the nozzle, but it's not. Ugh. So I brought it inside and just started painting it by hand. Now, it wasn't horribly hard because it already had a lighter base to it because of the beige color. So what I decided to do was, instead of brushing, I decided to dab it. So I just kept dabbing it and tapping it all the way until everything was covered, but not perfectly. I did want it to keep a little bit more of a farmhouse style look, so I wasn't looking for full cover. Okay, so now we're here on my miter saw, and this is the original wood piece that was on the window. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use it as a guide, and that way I'll know how to cut the additional pieces to create a box. So I am going to take some of these scrap pieces that I have left over and kind of like place it like there and brad nail them. So this one I will cut here, and then I would cut another one that same size, and then I would cut two smaller ones for the sides, and therefore create a box. Now I'm going to give everything just a light sand to smooth everything out and remove any splinters. And I did that on all 4 pieces. I didn't have to do the bottom piece because that was already smooth, the one that came with the window. We're going to assemble everything using brad nails and wood glue. Of course, you do not have to use a brad nailer. You can definitely use a regular hammer and nail. It's just a lot quicker and easier with the brad nailer. If you're looking for one, the hardware store has many, and some of them are not horribly expensive. And I do have one on my Amazon store, which is linked down below. We are now going to take the original base and we are going to attach it to the bottom of the box using, again, wood glue and brad nails. We are going to stain everything using Rust-Oleum chalked glaze in the brown tone. This is going to give everything a more unified look because of the base being a little bit darker than the wood I used. But when I stained it, then it looked pretty even. While everything is drying, we are going to make a very simple but festive wreath. This wreath form is from the dollar spot at Target. It was only $3. When I see these, I always grab them because they're so easy and versatile. This one is a magnolia leaf wreath, but we're going to add some of these evergreen picks that I get on Amazon. I do have them on my Amazon store as well, so check it out. It is linked down below. And I'm just going to hot glue it here and there in between all the leaves, and then kind of intertwining the leaves and the picks so it has a little bit more of a natural look. And I did place a total of 5 of them all around. I am so excited to let you know that I just recently relaunched my Etsy shop with new items. I have decals, I have some of the DIYs that I make, as well as merchandise, some hats, and a carrying bag that I think is absolutely beautiful and perfect to carry all kinds of crafting supplies. So I would love for you to visit it and check it out. Let me know what you think of it too. I do have the link down below in the description box. I wanted to add a little bit of a red sparkle, so I got these picks at the dollar store. Actually, it was the Dollar Tree, and I cut them in half, and I'm going to place 3 of them and hot glue them all around just as long as they're evenly placed. And then it's time to attach the box that we built to the base of the window, and we're going to use the same screws that it came with. we are now going to start just filling the box with some decorative items. I'm going to start with this moss from the Dollar Tree. I didn't have much, but what I had was actually sufficient. So I just spread it around and it made it look even. And then I'm going to take some more of those evergreen picks from Amazon, as well as these that I also get on Amazon, and I also have on my Amazon store link down below. And I am just going to place several here and there, as well as some things from the Dollar Tree like these bulbs and just some other items like pine cones, this little reindeer. And then I decided something was missing. So towards in a little bit here, you're going to see me add a Noel galvanized sign that I got. I want to say it was, gosh, I think it was like at a thrift store, but I can't remember where I got it. So I apologize for that. But I did get it recently, and here it is. And I just didn't know what to do with it yet. So I am going to just remove the jute twine from it, and then I'm going to place it in the back. So you're going to see me remove some of the decor I already had in there. I just felt like something was missing, so I thought this really added a very classy look and a little bit more of a farmhouse rustic style, which I really love. And then I did place the decor right back on. I didn't place all of them, but I did place most of them. And then it's time to place the wreath right on the window. So I'm just going to use some of this flexible wire that I always have on hand, and I'm going to place it right in the center and then tie it on both sides as long as it's centered. And I thought the size of the wreath was perfect. This window is stunning. I love how everything came together. I love the look and the style, and I'm actually going to be selling it on my booth, so I'm excited for the next person who gets to have it. Alright, so my next project is going to be with this sign. It is like a canvas style sign, but it has this really firm, very like sturdy base. And I feel like it has a wooden frame. So we are going to remove the canvas and see what's underneath. So I started by using my X-Acto knife because I thought I can just cut it right through and then pull it apart. But no, that canvas was like high-end. It would not come off. So then I flipped it over and then started removing all the 20,000 staples it had on the back. Yes, I'm exaggerating, but it did feel like it. It was so many, and they were placed so tightly that it took me a while. So I sped it up here for you quite a bit. And then, of course, you have to remove all the staples with clippers, and gosh, this took forever. But nonetheless, we got through it, and I am cutting the canvas off, and now we have this beautiful frame on a stand. Now, I didn't realize it had that middle like bar, so I did want to remove that. So I kind of like pulled it apart a little bit, and then using my clippers or my wire cutters, I just cut it, and then it came off, and it was perfect. So it was actually pretty sturdy without it. Once it was off, I gave everything a good scrub, and then we are going to fill in the back with some wood filler. This is because it had all these holes from all the staples that it had, and I wanted to have a little bit more of a finished high-end look. So I filled it in with some wood filler, and we are going to let that dry for a couple of hours. It doesn't take long. Now I'm going to take this nativity set that I recently got at the Dollar General, and I am going to cut off the little manger part of it. So like the little house part of it, I'm just going to cut it off, and then I'm going to sand down the edges so they look smooth and finished and not like it was something attached to it. Then I'm going to stain all the pieces using Rust-Oleum chalked glaze in the brown tone. Now that the wood filler is dry, I am going to sand it down using my electric sander, just enough where it just is smooth. It doesn't require much when it's wood filler, but all the holes were filled and everything was nicely finished, and I loved it. Now I'm going to give everything 2.5 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. After everything was dry, it was time to place the nativity set right inside the frame. I am going to use a combination of Fix All glue from the Dollar Tree as well as hot glue. So I want that permanent hold, but also a very quick hold so that I can get it done. So the Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus are going to be right in the center. And then I'm going to spread apart all the other pieces all around the sides or on each side of the main piece. Now we have this beautiful base right underneath everything. So I am going to add some greenery. So I'm going to just place one staple and then I'm going to just thread all the other decor, at least the greenery picks, right through it so that it is sturdy enough. And we're going to add some hot glue here in a little bit because we're going to add some other embellishments. But I just thought a staple would be easy enough to kind of get everything in there and then hot glue these smaller pieces on top. I'm going to use some pine cones, little bells, some red berries, just a combination of different things from the Dollar Tree as well as Amazon that I get, like those picks. And it's going to have a very finished look.
Wake up with a smile, the feeling is right today. Magic in the air, 'cause something
We're just about done with this one. I'm just going to add one bell here at the end because I just thought it just needed a little bit something else. It's going to be a silver one and we're done. I love the way this nativity set looks. I think it has a very festive but like a farmhouse chic look and actually already sold. So I'm so excited about it. I love it, love it, love it.
I've been good, but I can last. Hurry Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see what's under the
For the next thrift store flip, I'm going to take this wreath that was $5.99 at the thrift store and I got very recently. It already has some decorations, but as you can tell, they needed to be updated really desperately. So I'm going to remove everything from it. I actually tried to remove all the glittery snow from it and it would not come off even with the wire brush. I scrubbed it and scrubbed it, but those were stuck on there. So I decided to leave them and make it work somehow. I'm going to start with some more of those evergreen picks and I am going to place them towards the left side of the wreath. That is where least amount of the glittery snow is at, but I was okay with that. So we're going to place some and it's going to be a little bit heavier towards the bottom and a little lighter decor-wise on the top. I'm also going to add some of the other greenery picks that I get on Amazon and I'm just going to add them right on top of the other ones just to give it a little bit more fullness and a different shade of green, which I think was really cool to see. I got these frosted pine cones recently at the store at home and it was only 99 cents and I thought they were a really good deal. So strong, so sturdy, and so big. So I'm going to place two of them on the bottom and one of them on the top. I am now going to take some of these snowy frosted berries that I also got at home. They were $1.99, but I'm going to separate them into separate picks. So I'm going to have a total of 3 smaller ones. Now I'm going to hot glue them and place them all around the greenery as well as the pine cone. I am now going to take some of these glittery red picks from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to start again placing them all around at the bottom and the top. I am now going to take two different ribbons from the Dollar Tree. One is a buffalo check, red and black, and the other one has little gnomes and it has white and red and silver kind of on it. I thought it would be really cool to just kind of mix both of them. So I'm just going to grab them both and start looping it around several times, making sure that I grab them right in the middle. We're just going to make a little multiple loop bow, and it's kind of simple. You just keep looping around and then tie it in the center with whatever string you have. What I had was jute twine, so that's what I did. And then it's time to fluff all the loops. So making sure that they are like alternating between one ribbon to the other. Just to make sure that we don't have all buffalo check in one area and all gnomes in one area. I just want to make sure it's nicely mixed. Then I'm going to tie right in the center of the wreath and making sure that I fluff and fluff all the loops, making sure that it looks nice and finished. And I am in love with this wreath. I think it took a complete new different look. And the snowy glittery part of it actually works because we have snowy pine cones and snowy berries. And I think it all worked out really well. And I love the way it turned out. I'm also going to be selling it on my booth. And I cannot wait to someone put it up in their home. For the next thrift store flip, it's going to be with this cute little, it's not even that little, but it's a cutting board. And I think it's more decorative than anything, but I'm sure it could be used to put some cheese and meats and crackers. But I'm going to remove there was like a Velcro and it had like one coaster that said Mr. and Mrs. I'm not sure what that was about, but I'm going to remove it. And thankfully it removed with no glue residue left on the board, which was very, very cool. Now I'm going to take some of these Dollar Tree garland ties and I'm going to tie a couple of them. One of them is just going to be folded in half and then twisted in the middle. And then the other one, I'm going to leave one of the strands a little bit longer to one side. And then we're going to start placing some other greenery picks, hot gluing them in place. So I want this to be a little bit more of a decorative cutting board more than one that you can use with food. Now, because it has that happy everything on one side of it, the decorations that I'm going to place on it are going to be a little bit heavier towards the left side of the board just to kind of even things out and then of course not cover the beautiful sign. I'm also going to be adding some glittery picks from the Dollar Tree, some pine cones, and a little bell just to kind of keep it simple, but yet very festive and very nice looking. This is the easiest, probably one of the easiest flips I've ever done because there was not much to do with it, just to add a little bit of embellishments and decorations. And I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. I love the way it turned out. I might keep it, but I might sell it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to sell it on my booth, but look how beautiful it looks. And it just works well with the happy everything. And I think that the embellishments and decor more towards the left side of the board work. I'm going to take this double wine box that I thrifted several months ago. I did a thrift haul and I believe I put it in my at home channel, and this was one of the things that I thrifted, and so I gave it a good wipe and then I removed all the hardware to be able to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe, and I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow.
Once the paint was fully dry, I then distressed it just a bit, basically focusing on the edges of the entire box.
It is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas.
And now it's time to put back the hardware. And these are the cutest little hinges I have ever seen. They look like little belt buckles. So cute.
The first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out of nowhere.
Using my Cricut, I cut the phrase letters for Santa and I'm going to transfer it right in the front of the box. When I thrifted it, one of my viewers actually suggested it. They said that it would make a super cute like mailbox type of decor for Santa, and I thought it was the perfect little idea. And so here I am, and I love the way it turned out.
I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you.
Alright, so now it's time to make a small little arrangement or kind of like a swag for the top of the box. I'm going to take these little evergreen picks that I got on Amazon. And guys, a lot of these supplies that I am using is in my Amazon store, which is linked down below in the description box. I'm also going to take this buffalo check ribbon from Dollar General, and I'm going to make a very simple bow using also thin red ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to hot glue it right in the center of the greenery. I then decided to add some berries. The berries are from Dollar Tree. They are the frosted berries. And I'm just going to cut 2 branches from the pick and then hot glue them to the middle of the evergreen underneath the bow, and that completed the look.
Another year went by, but the difference this time is that
The theme for this video is a very farmhouse look, a traditional black and white look with the red and black buffalo check. I love this look for Christmas, and I think it's going to be the style that I go for this year. So all of these DIYs I might be keeping, including this one, because look how cute it turned out.
since July, I've been happier than I have ever been. It's safe to say that my love for you is true. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you.
Two is this basket I thrifted actually recently, and it was only a couple of dollars, and I thought it'd be perfect for a Christmas arrangement. I am not necessarily making the arrangement today, but I am going to flip the basket and give it more of a farmhouse Christmas look. So after I dusted it and cleaned it, I gave it 2 coats. Actually, it was about 1.5 very rough coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. I wanted to have a distressed look, kind of like the basket has been around for a while, already white. I'm going to take a leftover piece of an infinity scarf from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to kind of measure it and kind of put it around the basket. I want to make a liner for the inside. Once I knew that it would fit, I am now going to hot glue the 2 ends. That way I have kind of like what it was originally, an infinity scarf, but just smaller. And now I'm just going to drape it inside of the basket and just fold it towards the outside. That way it just looks like it has a very nice linen, or not linen, liner to it.
Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean, yeah, let's go outside.
Once I had it ready, I basically just then made a cut right where the handle is on both sides. That way it kind of wraps around nicely, and then I hot glue them together so it's secure.
We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
I am now going to add more greenery. These greeneries again are from Amazon, and I do have them in my Amazon store linked down below. They come about, I want to say it's like 30 or 40 in a bag, and they're just great quality, but it's also a good size for like smaller crafts like these. So after I hot glue 4 of them, I am then going to make a bow using a ribbon from the Dollar General. This is a red truck ribbon. Since I already had the red and black buffalo check on the scarf, on the liner, I decided to use this ribbon, and I think it turned out pretty cute.
We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the windows in the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the January. Doesn't matter, it's Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas.
Old basket. Actually, it's not that old, but I've had it now for about 3 years, and I never found anything to do with it. I got it at Packetans when they were like closing out, and it was just very like, I probably paid less than $1 for them. I got two, and I finally decided to just break it apart, and I'm going to make a super cute farmhouse wooden Christmas tree with the pieces. So I'm going to break it apart, and I'm going to use the sides for the tree. Now they're already all different sizes. Well, 4 sizes, I guess. Or 4 are the same sizes, and then I have 3 of them. One of them ripped, so I couldn't use. And I'm just going to start placing them kind of like how I see fit, and then using my miter box, I'm going to start making cuts to ensure that I have a tree-like shape. Once I had all the pieces cut, I then took these extra large painting stirring sticks that you can get at the hardware store. I get these at Lowe's or Home Depot, and they have little packets of like 3 for 98 cents. Very inexpensive. I'm going to use that as the stem of the tree, and using wood glue and my electric stapler, I'm going to start placing them about an inch apart from each other. I am now sanding the edges using a 120 grit sandpaper. Basically, I just want to sand down the edges because they are very splintering after cutting them. And then after I was done with that, I noticed that the wood planks were just a little wobbly, so I'm just securing them even more using very tiny 1/2 inch brad nails and my nail gun. Now it's time to just start painting. Of course, I'm going to paint it white because that's the theme that I'm going with today. And I want this to have a very farmhouse look. So I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. After the paint was dry, I am going to use my electric sander, and I'm just going to sand away. I'm basically focusing more on the edges, but I don't mind if if it distresses all around, because I am looking for a distressed farmhouse look. Again, staying with the theme with the red and black buffalo check, I'm going to use more of that ribbon from the Dollar General. I'm going to make a very simple bow once again, and I'm also going to make like a multiple strand bow. It's like a very loose bow using Dollar Tree, oh my gosh, nautical rope. If you separate the strands from the rope, you get this smaller like strands, and they have like this natural kind of curl to it. So I'm going to use one of the strands of this leftover piece of the rope, and I'm going to make, again, a very loose multiple strand bow, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the top of the tree, and then place the buffalo check ribbon or buffalo check bow right on top of it. And then I'm going to separate the strands of the ones that are just going to be falling down, just to give it a little bit more character. So I realized that I never did anything to the bottom, to the base of the tree to keep it from falling. So I got these two little cubes of a set that I got on, I think it was Target, yes, Target Dollar Spot several weeks ago. And I'm just going to take two of them and I'm going to use hot glue and E6000 and and glue them, one to the front and one to the back. That way it'll keep it from falling forward or backwards. And then we'll be done with this one. I think this one turned out so cute, and what a wonderful way to use a basket that literally was on my shelves for the longest time and never ever used. For the next DIY, I am going to start with this Christmas sign. It was already Christmas themed, but we are going to make it a little bit more into the farmhouse theme that we are going for. I'm going to remove the ribbon, and I am going to give, I'm also going to remove this galvanized tin trim because we are going to reuse it again in our design. I'm going to give everything 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. The first coat is going to be horizontal, so it's all going to be facing side to side. The second coat I am going to do vertically. This is to give me a very textured kind of fabric look to it. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Do you see those lines going down and then going sideways? It almost looks like fabric. That's the texture that I was looking for, and that usually you get that when you do one coat one way and then one coat the other way, specifically using a chippy brush because it leaves a lot of brush strokes. So just an idea for you. Now it's time to put everything together. I'm going to take this burlap ribbon and I'm just going to cut a piece to fit the bottom trim. I'm going to hot glue it in place, and then I am going to place the galvanized trim that came with the original design, and I'm going to place it right above it. I'm also going to secure it with brad nails. Did you know that DIY Beauty on Purpose now has memberships available? If you want to learn more about the special perks you will get by becoming a member, check out the link down below. Using my Cricut once again, I cut out the phrase Christmas at Farm, but I misspelled it. Or not misspelled it, but I missed the. I should have caught that. Even doing this and even stenciling it, I didn't catch it. I caught it after I was already taking pictures. Ugh. Anyways, before I sell it, before I display it, I will add the to it. So just so that you know, I can't believe I did that. Anyways, I again stenciled it using black and red. That way it has a very festive look to it. This little barn ornament I got at the Dollar General last year, and I'm just going to use it right here on the left hand side of the sign. I'm also going to take some more of that red buffalo check ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to do the same thing, just scrunch it, staple it in the back, and that's it for this one, guys. I'm going to remind you what the original sign looked like, which is beautiful, just not the style that we were looking for today. And here's what it looks like now. I am so loving this one. I love the size of it. I love all the textures that it has. And once I fix the words and I add the, I think it's going to be absolutely stunning, and I can't wait to put it in my booth. For this next DIY, I'm going to take this cake pan that I got at the thrift store, and we are going to spray paint it using some of this Rust-Oleum spray paint. After several coats and it is fully dry, I am now going to drill a couple of holes on the top of it, because we are going to make it into a little hanging decor for any wall. It could also be placed on a mantle, but it just gives us the option to be able to hang it if we want. I'm using a drill bit that is appropriate for metal, and I'm going to thread some jute rope right through it and knot it on the inside, and that's what we will hang it from. I contemplated doing a different decor, but I did get a another one of these cake pans. So for another Christmas one, I'll do a different one, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. All right, so I'm going to take this Christmas pick I got at Dollar Tree last year. I did remove all of the golden tone leaves and flowers from it. I'm going to bend it a little bit just to give it that rounded look. I'm also going to take this little, it's like a cinnamon brush or broom. I'm not sure what it is, but it smells delicious. I love the way it smells. So I'm just going to hot glue both of them on the bottom of the pan there. I'm going to take some of this Merry Christmas ribbon I got at Dollar General last year again. I'm just going to make a very simple bow, tie it in the middle with some jute twine, and then place it in the center. I'm going to take off this pine cone because it's in my way of the bow, but we're going to put it back on it here in a minute. I'm going to dovetail the ends of the bow. That way it just looks trimmed and finished. And just using hot glue, I'm going to hot glue it right there in the center. The little pine cone I removed, I'm just going to place some hot glue and place it right there in the center. I'm going to take this little rolling pin that I got last year at Dollar General, which I think is super cute. And it kind of goes with the whole cake pan theme, maybe. And I hot glue it there in the middle, as well as these red berries that I had from last year. So look how stunning this cake pan looks. Does not look like a cake pan anymore. I love it. It can even serve as an extra large ornament on a tree. Beautiful. I am going to take this little vase that I recently got at the thrift store. It was $3.99, a little bit more than I would have spent, but I really like the size and how it's actually pretty heavy. It's like ceramic. So I cleaned it up, and now I'm going to take some extra spackle or leftover spackle that I had in the container. I'm just going to add some chalk paint to it. This is going to thicken it up. If you follow me for a while, you know that I love using this, especially using them in vases, ceramic vases, because it just gives it a nice ceramic, almost cement texture to it. I'm just going to start brushing it. I'm going to go sideways motion. So just kind of keep that sideways round motion for the texture to have that kind of look. And I'm going to just do one coat, and then I'm going to add one extra coat of just regular chalk paint. The rest of the spackle mixture I'm going to keep in that little container, and it'll be good for next time I use it. Once it was fully dry, I'm going to take some of this jute rope, and I'm just going to wrap it around the top, and I'm just going to make a simple knot to the right side of the vase. We're going to keep it pretty simple. I just love the way it just has that bright white look. We're not even going to distress it. This one's going to stay just like this. I'm then going to start adding some snowy, wintry kind of decor that I already had from last year. I'm serious, guys. These were all leftover things that I had from last year. I'm just going to start building it up, adding some picks here and there, and just kind of make it look very Christmassy, very seasonal, very festive. I'm also going to add this little reindeer that I had left over from last year. This is a Dollar Tree ornament. I thought it looked pretty cool, just snug in there in between all the branches. I hot glued it in place. I'm also going to add some of these berries right next to the knot where the rope is, and this little tiny bell. This little bell I actually got this year at Dollar Tree. Well, let me remind you what the vase looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. Oh, how beautiful. It just has a very crisp, white, festive look and very farmhouse. I love it.
It was the night before Christmas. I was closing down for business in my little prison shop. When the
For this DIY, I am going to start with this lantern that already had a Christmas theme, but again, not quite my style. So we are going to give it more of a bright farmhouse style for Christmas. I'm going to remove the glass though. I'm just going to move these little tabs up, and then I'm going to carefully remove the glass, and we're actually not going to replace them. I actually just threw them out because I want to have more of a open lantern kind of look. So once I had it removed, I am going to take the same spray paint that I used earlier. I'm going to show you the little nozzle that I use here. This I got on my Amazon store as well. So if you need something like this, I do have it on my Amazon store. So we are out here in my front yard. This is actually where I do a lot of my spray painting in the, not winter, spring, summer, and fall. My home is right there. I put a blanket down that I use for my painting, and then here we are. We're gonna start with this one. It's gonna be a little bit more complicated because of all the details, but we shall see.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the
I give it several light coats and just kept building it until I had full coverage. On the inside is not full coverage, but it was really hard to get in there. But overall, I think it turned out pretty well. I'm going to take this Dollar Tree Christmas pick that I already had. Once again, I did remove all the red flowers that it had on it because I didn't want them in here particularly. I'm going to take this pick as well as this cotton stem all from the Dollar Tree. Again, all from last year's stash. I'm also going to take one of these fairy lights that I get on Amazon. I do have them on my Amazon store as well. And I'm just going to start just pushing them in there, kind of threading them in between the decorations here and there, just to add, again, because it's a lantern, so I wanted to have the lighting portion of it as well. I am going to thread the little battery pack right on the back. That way we can hot glue it in a minute. I'm going to take one of these frosted picks. I'm just going to cut a branch off of it. This is from Dollar General. And these little red berries, again, all from last year. Just place it here in the corner just to add a little bit of color. So we're going to close it up. It has a little knot there that you can just close it up and tighten it. I am going to, like I said, hot glue the battery pack to the back. And let me remind you what this lantern looked like. And this is what it looks like now. Oh, I love it. It's so festive, so bright. I love the little fairy lights in there, and all the pops of red, I think, just contrast with the white so perfectly. I love it.
as long as you're around. Everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas.
I redid one of these door panels. I got a pair of these at the thrift store, and maybe about a month and a half ago or so, I redid another one similar to what I'm doing, just giving it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white. But this time around, I'm going to make it more of a sign rather than a kind of like the one I did for fall had a wreath in the middle. And this one will be more a sign for Christmas. So like I said, I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint, let it fully dry. And then we're using my hand sander. I am going to sand down particularly more the edges, giving it a farmhouse style look.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present.
While I was on Pinterest the other day, I saw this phrase, "True love was born in a manger," which I think is absolutely a beautiful phrase, and it inspired me to create this sign. I used my Cricut to cut this phrase, and I'm just going to transfer it onto the bottom right of the sign.
That I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. The snow is falling down, and the storm is on its way. But as long as you're around, everything will be okay. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I longed for this moment to have you for myself in a cabin out in nowhere, just us and no one else. I've decorated everything till we're perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Another year went by, but the difference this time is that ever since July, I've been happier than I have ever been.
I am now going to add some florals and details with a Christmas theme. These greenery style picks, I believe I thrifted them, but it's been so long ago. It's probably been almost a year now. So I don't remember where exactly they came from, but I do have several of them left over, and I thought it would be very appropriate for this little sign. I'm going to create a swag for the top, kind of like hang it from the knob of the door. These little berries I recently thrifted as they were part of a wreath that I thrifted recently, and I just cut off the berries from a pick that it had, and I'm just going to secure them there in the center with some wire, and then I'm going to secure the swag onto the knob, again using wire and hot glue.
I've decorated everything to be perfect for this week. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for you and me. Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Tomorrow it is Christmas, the first for me and you. I've longed for this moment to have.
I'm going to use this burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to create a simple bow and then hot glue it right in the center of the swag.
It's white outside, and the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas. It's a magic time. You can feel it in the air, that every child got their hearts filled up.
This golden tone glittery reindeer I just got recently, like literally this week at Dollar Tree, and I just thought it was beautiful, and it adds just that farmhouse style. I don't know, it's just beautiful. I really loved it. So I hot glued it there, and that's what it turned out to be. I love simplicity. If you follow me and have seen my videos, you know that I love things that are simple, clean, and this is the epitome of that. I love it, and I love the farmhouse Christmas feel it has.
With joy, yes, it's Christmas all around. Oh, snow is
All right, guys, so I thrifted this star several weeks ago, I should say. And I just love how sturdy and firm it is, and I just quickly knew that I wanted to use it for Christmas. It is a Christmas theme star already. I just want to give it a fresh new farmhouse look. I removed the little oh my gosh, hanging little hook thing that it had, and I also drilled a hole for a rope that I'll be threading through here in a little bit. But before that, I am going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the Farmhouse Red.
lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
Once the paint was dry, I am now going to distress it using my stenciling brush and Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. And I'm just going to dry brush some of the details, particularly like on the edges, so that way it just has a farmhouse look, but also brings detail and dimension to the star.
This time of year is a time to cheer. Let our loved ones, our family and friends have.
So now I'm going to thread the rope. This is a rope that I got at Amazon. I've had it for a while now. It's a pretty big spool, but you can certainly use any Dollar Tree rope or anything that you may have on hand. I'm just going to tie a knot and just keep it simple, just like that. And now it's time to add some florals to the star. I want to keep it, again, very simple. I'm going to add these leaves. They're from the Dollar Tree. I used them more for my summer decor, but I think that deep hunter green would look so Christmassy, and I love it. Almost reminds me of magnolia leaves. And then I'm going to add a very simple pine cone to the center of it. And we're going to call it a day, guys. This is just, again, simple, but love the farmhouse style it has.
Have a Christmas with so much love and with joy and laughter. Let us make memories that stay forever. It's Christmas today. All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up.
3 of these little candle, I think they're meant for like votive candles. And I just knew I wanted to do something for Christmas, but I'm only going to do one of them today. I'm going to spray paint it white using Rust-Oleum spray paint in the flat white. And I'm going to give it one kind of like medium to heavy coat of it and then let it fully dry. And once it dried, I realized that it had still some of the dark show through, and I actually really liked it, so I left it like that. I'm going to take this burlap ribbon from burlapfabric.com, and I am going to cut a piece to fit around the candle holder and hot glue it in place.
Outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
I am now going to use some more of those berries that I used earlier, but this time I'm going to use just the whole little bunch right there, and I'm going to hot glue it to the front of the candle holder.
All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to you.
And just to add a little bit of detail, I'm going to do a simple bow using jute rope, and I'm going to hot glue it to the stem of the berries.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear.
And then to finish it off, I'm going to take the red tape. I think this is more like crafting decorative tape and I'm going to add a strip of it to the bottom of the candle. This candle is from Dollar Tree, and we're done. I mean, I think this is very simple DIY, but what a beautiful candle holder and candle decor to add to any table, centerpiece, mantle. I just think it looks beautiful. And this is it for today. I would love to hear which one is your favorite, which one inspired you the most. And if you're visiting for the first time, thank you for coming by. I hope it inspired you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you consider joining our YouTube family. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate your time. I am going to have a playlist here with tons more of inspiration for you, and also a video. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and click on it. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.